which could be a viable legal alternative scheme for more sophisticated and organized businesses?
If the company carries out a particular kind of business which is already organized in national sale points and has already developed its own specific know-how, IP and trademarks, as an alternative to the agency and the distribution agreement. Also, the franchising may be a viable legal scheme to expand your business and brand in a new country. Generally speaking, the franchising is a system used by a company named franchisor that grants a third party named franchisee the right and license to market a product or service under the franchisor trademarks, trade name, know-how, and method of doing business. It is a system for distributing goods and products through independent resellers in a specific city, region, or other territorial area under a common brand, using the same commercial identity and marketing strategy. Without entering into details on the functioning of such contractual scheme, we would like just to provide you a couple of tips deriving from the experience and the common practice. First tip: if the sale point under franchising is operated within premises leased by the franchisee and owned by a third-party landlord, franchisor may evaluate the opportunity to include in the franchising agreement clause requiring franchisee to duly amend the lease in order to ensure availability of the premises throughout the entire term of the franchising agreement. This way, reducing and maybe avoiding the risk of losing the commercial goodwill earned thanks to the franchising relationship, just in case the lease agreement is terminated before the term of elapsing of the franchising agreement. In this case, maybe support of a foreign legal counsel could be useful to the extent that the lease agreement is governed by the laws of the country where the premises are located. Second tip: in addition to the ordinary franchising agreement, a company that wants to expand its business in foreign areas composed of more countries, like for example the USA or the Middle East Gulf Cooperation Area, where for instance nowadays there is a great interest, a great boom for luxury goods, may choose to enter a master franchising agreement. A master franchising agreement is a type of franchising agreement that grants the master franchisee the right to own and operate not only one franchising point, but several franchising units in the given territory. Among the typical clauses of a master franchising agreement, primary importance is given to the so-called development schedule, which is a schedule of an annex of the contract where is detailed the entire list of all the franchising points that the master franchisee is required to open during a given period of time and in given territories. The master franchising agreement in this case should provide solutions for the situation where realistic minimum development targets are not achieved by the master franchisee. So, for example, this case could be included some provisions limiting the scope of the exclusivity granted, or by granting to the master franchisor partial termination rights in order to preserve, to the extent possible, the effectiveness and validity of the master franchising agreement. Speaking about applicable law and jurisdiction, the choice of law applicable to the master franchising agreement is usually the law of the country where the franchisor is domiciled. So in our case, if we have an Italian company wanted to make business abroad, the master franchising agreement could be regulated and disciplined by the Italian legislation. Unless the lending country has a legislation which is more advantageous or more convenient for the franchisor. So also in this case, our suggestion is to check with your legal counsel if there are this kind of different legislation which could be better than the Italian one. Speaking about dispute resolution, international commercial arbitration is typically the most appropriate solution where a dispute arises from a master franchising agreement. Why? Because the arbitration is more fast, is less time consuming than the litigation before a traditional jurisdictional court. The arbitration is a more flexible mean, is a neutral forum, and the parties are able to choose an arbitrator with specific skills and specific subject matter expertise. So follow us, and we will be happy to give you updates and news on that.
Thanks for the video contribution, and for the other nutshells which will follow soon.
Thank you to you, and see you soon again.